Hello, world. Okay, so you're 3 months into a 2-year SaaS contract when a hurricane takes out your data center. Your client wants a refund. Your contract says force majeure. What does that actually mean for you? Well, hello, world. I'm Natasha Defray, General Counsel for B2B SaaS startups. Today, we are decrypting force majeure, because this clause sat unused in contracts for decades until COVID made everyone panic Google it at the same time. So here's why people are afraid to ask what this means. It sounds fancy. It's French. It's usually buried on page 47 of your contract right after you stopped reading because you're out of steam. And nobody wants to admit that they signed something they didn't understand, and no founder wants to admit that they don't understand the terms that are in their very own agreement. So let's make this simple. Force majeure literally translates to superior force. It's the contract clause that says if something is truly outside of our control and makes it impossible to perform this contract, we're not liable for a breach. Think natural disasters, wars, pandemics, government shutdowns. The key word is impossible. Not just difficult or expensive, but impossible. Your server costs doubled, not force majeure. An earthquake destroyed the only facility that's capable of making the hardware you need for your product. Well, that's force majeure. When COVID hit, every startup suddenly cared about this clause because they wanted to know, can I pause my contracts because our offices are closed? Can I delay product delivery because factories shut down? Can I stop paying my rent? But here's what most founders learn the hard way. Just because something is harder doesn't mean you're off the hook. Force majeure has to actually make performance, say it with me, impossible, not just inconvenient. And here's the part that nobody tells you. Even if force majeure applies, it usually just suspends your obligations. It doesn't terminate the contract or make the problem disappear. Now, a basic force majeure clause might say, neither party shall be liable for failure to perform due to causes beyond reasonable control, including acts of God, war, strikes, or government action. Sounds protective, right? No. This is what's missing. Does it include pandemics, cybersecurity attacks, supply chain disruptions? Does it excuse payment obligations or just delivery timelines? How much notice do you have to give? And how long can you pause before the contract terminates? Most force majeure clauses are vague because lawyers copied them from old contracts without thinking about modern risks. So here's where this gets tricky for B2B SaaS. If your business model is, we deliver software over the internet, then our whole pitch is going to be, we're always available. So what actually qualifies as more force majeure for you? Your AWS region goes down? Maybe, if you can prove you had no backup region available. Your dev team can't work because of a natural disaster? It's a harder sell if you're fully remote and distributed. A government order that shuts you down completely? Yes, that's force majeure. But the real question is, what happens to your revenue while you're suspended? Do customers get credits, refunds, or extended timelines? That's what your contract needs to address, not just act of God language from 1950. I've seen clients try to claim force majeure because their contractor quit unexpectedly. Well, that's not force majeure, that's a staffing issue. Their cloud costs increased. Again, not force majeure, that's a budgeting issue. Their payment processor changed terms. Again, not force majeure. That's a vendor relationship issue. Force majeure is for genuinely unforeseeable, uncontrollable, external events, or as the French say, those events that are impossible, not for bad planning. So, if you're drafting or reviewing a SaaS contract, your force majeure clause should answer the following. 1, what specific events qualify? Don't just say acts of God. List pandemics, cyber attacks, infrastructure failures, regulatory changes. 2, what obligations are suspended? Delivery timelines, payment terms, or both? 3, what notice is required? So how much notice do you have to give to the other parties? You need to tell the other party within X days that you're invoking force majeure. 4, how long can suspension last before the contract terminates? 30 days, 90 days, whatever it is, define it. And 5, what happens to money already paid? Are you issuing credits, refunds, or extending service periods? Force majeure is not a magic shield. It's a contract mechanism that suspends obligations when genuinely unforeseeable, impossible, external events make performance impossible. Not hard, not expensive, impossible. And even then, it usually just pauses things. It doesn't erase your commitments. So if you're reviewing a contract and the force majeure clause is 2 sentences of vague language from a 1950s or 1970s template, then flag it. Because when something actually goes wrong, vague just does not protect anyone. So I'm Natasha Giffray. If you're a B2B SaaS founder and your contracts make your head hurt, that's what I fix. Visit founderscouncil.ca or drop me a message. And if there's other jargon you want decrypted, whether you're a founder or not, leave it in the comments. See you next time.